Hello, and welcome to season two of Building Influence. My name is Rowena Moraes. The Building Influence show features industry thought leaders and experienced professionals, some in the corporate world, some who are entrepreneurs, those who have basically achieved considerable success in their professional lives. Now, these interviews bring together the best strategies, tools, and tips that they have found to be most effective in building visibility and credibility and achieving the goals that drive them. The show examines three aspects of building influence, looking at the individual's profile, their network, and their body of work. I was inspired to create this show because I believe that everyone has it within them to build their personal brand and their body of work. And I hope that watching these videos, you will be inspired to do the same for yourself. Season two has us doing a deep dive into people and human capital or human resources. And this time I'm focusing specifically on Australia. My guest today is Barb Dawson, HR transformer, HR reimaginer, HR disruptor. Now, Barb is the head of people and culture at Lauxes Grates. I hope I've got this pronunciation right. One of
You will.
Australia's most exclusive designers and manufacturers of versatile indoor and outdoor draining solutions. Now, Bob made HRD's Hot List 2024, the best HR executives in Australia list this year. So, huge congratulations, Bob. Um,
Thank you.
she considers her strengths to be action orientated and people focused. So, big warm welcome, Bob. Thanks for coming on today. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well. Thanks, Rowena. Thank you for having me. I'm quite honoured to be asked to be truthful. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, well, let's dive right in. So, we'll start with your profile. The question I have is for you to tell us a little bit about your career journey. So, looking at, what was deliberate, what are some of the things where you're just kind of moving with the flow? In effect, are you where you intended to be?
So yes, there's a lot just in that one little question. So where I am at now was most definitely not where I intended to be. It wasn't deliberate. I really did just go with the flow.
Mm,
Um, I had been working in education for 13 years, and I had the opportunity to step into the business world. Um, Small business, but the business world nevertheless. So um, fast forward another 14 years, and I'm now head of people and culture, yeah, at Lauxes Grates, who actually Tim, my son, owns Lauxes Grates. So
oh, okay.
he was one of the people that said, "Oh, can you come and help out?"
Yeah,
And I'm still here. So it's been quite a journey, and it's one that, excuse me, as I said, no intention behind the fact that I'm here.
yeah.
Um, but once I got here, and as we've grown as leaders throughout the time that we've been growing the business, I have discovered passions. I have discovered who I am. I have discovered creativity that I didn't really know existed. So
Wow.
I'm very fortunate that I've got a fair amount of autonomy, and I can put forward lots of creative ideas and that sort of thing in my
That's
space.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm also
That's
blessed.
That's exciting, Bob. You'd be surprised. I mean, I am surprised usually when I ask this question and I hear there's quite a bit of moving with the flow. And I think that requires a little bit of letting go to kind of see what might happen. Is there one tactic? We're kind of going straight into visibility and how you're seen, but is there one tactic when you look back now that helps you? understand how you've grown your visibility for your skills and your expertise.
Again, I'm not really one to put myself out there.
Yeah,
Um, I do it fairly passively,
yeah,
and I guess just through my intuition and others' interest, so to speak, we've come together, and for whatever reason, I've, accepted. I've been drawn out, so to speak. So lots of circumstance, lots of chance encounters,
hmm,
and I really like to lean into those some of
those
the
are encounters.
relationships that you have and that stand out. So yeah,
So to kind of let me see if I can rephrase what you've said just so I can understand it better. Are you saying that often you prefer to be, behind the scenes, but when opportunities came forward that, required you to maybe step in front a little bit more and be seen, you went with that. You were happy and open to,
100% correct,
okay,
because sometimes those things were too attractive not to
yeah.
participate in those activities or whatever. So yeah.
Um, okay. In terms of your network, well, firstly, how do you feel about networking in general?
Again, initially not very
Not
comfortable.
keen. Mhm.
But the more you do something, the more you become better at it, and able to just be yourself, I guess.
Yeah.
So
And
um,
have you found it beneficial to grow your network? Has it brought positive things?
Oh, absolutely. And
Yeah.
depends what value you put on it.
Yeah.
So, I'm not out to network to be all salesy, I'm
Yeah.
more about friendships and relationships and interested in other people. So, that's where my
That's where you're
interest
coming
in,
from. And
yeah.
is there any one particular thing that you've done ever since you got into it and been more open about it? Is there one thing, one tactic in particular that you might say, look, try this. This kind of works.
Just listening to understand to others, if you are connecting with someone, be interested, be genuinely interested in them and what they're saying, because you will then, you'll be able to expand on, um your connection or your spiel, so to speak. So yeah, just initially just listen and understand, and make a decision as to whether or not you move forward or not with.
With that person. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, that sounds very sensible, but I guess we don't necessarily see that all the time. People might sometimes be more concerned with, rushing through the whole networking activity because they've got certain things that they're expecting for that relationship. But I love what you're saying about being interested in that person, which is really about being curious and just
100%.
trying to get to know that other person rather than whatever you might be, pitching or whatever. It's just putting a pause to that and just, who is this person in front of me?
Mm.
How do you make decisions about the kinds of people you'd like to connect with?
Oh, again, just the people and contacts that I'm most drawn to comes intuitively, I
Hmm.
guess, and I just go where that leads me.
Ah,
So this, this approach has led me to lots of different groups and events, and through my work, you don't know who you're going to meet where. So
yes.
again, that openness. Um,
So
yeah.
I would say then there's a lot of, in the course of work, in the business as usual, sort of environment. If networking opportunities come up, then you kind of like go with the flow. But
Yeah,
are you saying you don't necessarily go out and look to see actively, proactively try to make new connections? Is that
not often.
not often?
Mm.
Okay. In terms of your body of work, and this can touch on, the fact that you got that nomination on that list, and congratulations once again. Is there any one thing that you think has led to that being named on that list in your mind?
Oh, and yeah, I don't really consider myself as an expert, but I
Hmm.
do understand how some of my skills do come, thankfully, naturally, and just being in people and culture space too, it throws lots of different things at me. So I have to be really quick thinking or being, it's not about me, it's about them. Again, back to that
Mm.
listening, back to,
Yeah.
being drawn to people that are like-minded. Again, in
Yep.
that culture space, if you like, I do have a unique skill to to draw out like-minded people who will fit the business. Um, so it could be, as I said, it could be from a networking event that I meet somebody and I go, heck, I'd love them to be part of our team. So you know, it's it's really it's just using my radar to
Yep.
think about the different possibilities in everything, I guess. So if that's a skill, then yeah.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. So if you were to, in a networking event, I know you've said a lot around the idea of, focusing on the other person, which I think is a great strategy. But if they were interested in you, so the conversation's kind of turned and it's all about you. And if we're in, say, a HR related type event
Mhm,
where you had to talk about your unique strengths, your
mhm.
experience, your expertise, what would you say your top one or two um, areas of passion and, things you're really good at? What would you say those are?
Uh, Probably creativity and in programs, sort of putting together things that influence team members um, to bring out the best in themselves, and if that makes sense. So, some of the programs that I've created are around wellness.
Like
So
within the organization for
within the
internal use?
organization,
Yeah.
yes, yes. So that's a broad range of things that people can access um, for their overall wellness. So
Yep.
that's what I'm passionate about, and that's what I say. I stumbled upon these things that
Why? Why are you passionate about these things, Bob?
because I believe in it, and I believe that you know wellness is a combination of being well through the mind, body, and soul.
Hmm.
And so we have a greatness journal that we made, and each new team member gets a journal. So each year, so that they can journal their thoughts, feelings. That's one of the practices that I believe in
It's a
doing.
greatness journal. So what does that mean? We're focusing on all the positives?
It absolutely. And a pun on the or a play on the word great.
Yes.
We do not know how to spell it correct. Well, we spell it correctly, and that's
Yeah.
GRATE.
Yes. I've
So
seen that in your
every
posts.
time, every time we use it, it's that. So each
Yeah.
team member gets a wellness allowance each year.
Okay.
And that's $1,000. So they can spend that on anything that goes towards filling their cup. So it could be, it ranges. It just depends. Like they might not be able to afford gym fees, but they really want to work on their health.
So this
So
is
one
some
thing,
program that you brought in
correct.
because
Yes.
of the
Yeah.
focus on wellness.
Yes. Yes. So for our
Okay.
team members to be the very best they can be, it's just introducing them to these things that will help them. It will help them get through their busy days. Um, Busy is a feeling, it's not a state of being. It's
Hmm. I
yeah.
like that. I like that. I'm going to keep
So
that.
yeah, I could talk all day on that, but
Okay, so that's good. We've talked about what you're good at, what, keeps you going. In this process of arriving at this place where you feel happy and confident about all of these different programs you've put in place, surely you must have encountered challenges along the way. Can you talk a little bit about that and how you over how you overcome these challenges?
well, lots of challenges in the people and culture space.
Yeah.
Uh, Again, it just comes back to it's not about me. It's
Okay.
about whoever it is, whichever team member I'm helping, and helping them get through their moment the best I can and the best they can. Um, Challenges, they just vary so much. It Yeah, it's hard to think
Hard to
about.
think. Well,
I
what
tend
gets you
not to
through them?
focus on challenges, so it's like they don't.
Yeah. What helps you as you're processing the challenge? Like, are there specific things that you say to yourself or a particular way in which you attack a problem? Like, can you share a little bit about how you deal with it?
I look at what that challenge is. Um, what it could be somebody else's challenge, if that makes sense. So I'm
Yes.
like,
Yep.
okay, so we've got to work through what is true and real and what can be changed. So it's about looking at it from a positive aspect rather than, the doom and gloom,
Mm,
um, that sometimes challenges can bring you. I look for the opportunity that brings, and like, here's an opportunity to change something. Here's an opportunity to might be change team members,
mm,
that sort of thing. So it's all come across my desk. It's
yeah. Okay. When I talk about body of work, I'm referring to what, you could call a kind of portfolio. It's basically saying, look, this is my focus for the foreseeable future. This is the stuff that really um, lights me up, keeps me passionate about what I'm doing. In terms of a body of work that you are putting together for yourself, and that's not necessarily limited to that organization that you're with, what can you say about that sort of work that you're doing? Where does this work sit? How would you shine a light on it?
how would I shine a light on my work?
Yes, on your
Yeah.
work.
Again, I'm not I'm not don't like drawing the light to me, but oh,
Well, not
and
necessarily to you, but more to
no,
the
but to
work
the
that you're
work,
doing.
to the work.
Yes.
There's a lot of things that I've done like over the years to make what I do attractive. I mean,
Okay.
HR people aren't necessarily the most loved team team, department, or people to talk to in a company. That's not that's true. It's not a myth. So it's like, oh, you only go to HR when they onboard you, and then if either you want to offboard or they want to offboard you. So I've tried to make that whole the whole concept of what HR is all about into a more pleasant space. So being more open and inviting, like you can come to us at any time. We're friendly, we're personable, we will sit and listen to you. So yeah, just I'm out to sort of break down the barriers of what people think HR or people and culture is all about.
How is that working so far? Are you seeing some differences in how you're
I believe
perceived?
so.
Yeah.
I believe so. Yes. So it's I feel that we do demonstrate approachability. So, we do have people coming to us and we're able to help them get through whatever challenges are facing them, or, open to their ideas as well, because we've got on the team at the moment wellness advocates. So I've sort of been able to hand them the responsibility of encouraging team members and that sort of thing. So it's not coming just from people and culture. They want me to do
Yes.
this. They want me to do that. I've got
More
other team.
integrated, You're like
Yeah,
sitting as
yeah.
part of the
Let
team,
them run
not having
run the
these,
program, run
yeah,
the
these
show. So
divisions or silos. That's
yeah,
that's
definitely.
great. And what I'm hearing also, I guess, is a sense of there's a granularity to it. It's person by person, individual issue, one thing at a time. It sometimes can feel a bit like a hard slog, but as you do these individual things and you begin to see some traction, you begin to get feedback, then I guess that positive interaction, the good comments or whatever, they help to contribute to you saying, yep, it's working, and you keep doing more of the same in a way,
Yes,
maybe.
yes, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, we're coming to the end of the interview, and I just have three more questions to ask,
Mhm.
and it's mainly about habits and approach. The first one is if you can think of either one or two habits that you consider to be absolutely essential to your ongoing success.
Mhm. So staying connected with the team.
Hmm.
It's very easy to get disconnected as the team grows
Yep.
and everybody's going about their role. So I have regular check-ins with
Individually or
individually with
as well
each
as,
team member. So they can be casual or official.
yep,
So, just those regular chats, and that gives them the space to sort of um, take the time out of their day to stop, pause, breathe, and just have a chat. We just have a chin wag. Um, there's nothing really official about it. We do
yep,
have official ones, but their team leaders do that for them. I just check in with those.
right.
So
These are
yeah,
usually what, face to face
if the
in the
team member is
office?
in the same office, yes, but we have offices around Australia, so it's even more important to stay connected
So
with
with the
them.
ones outside your city, you would maybe do virtual, like a
I do
Teams
virtual,
call.
yes, yes, but we also do. I was doing what I call Project Connect. So I would fly there. I would fly there
Oh,
to meet them in person periodically,
wow.
just so
Okay.
that I could really get the sense of how that office runs and rolls, and how yeah, they go about their days. And I think it's very different to be in person. So why should those team members miss out,
Of
on
course, absolutely. I
having
think it's great
that?
that you do that. I'm sure
Mm,
it it achieves the intended impact, I think, to know that,
it
oh,
does.
you've come all the way here to see us, to see
We
me.
call it sharing the love.
Yeah. All right. Overcoming fear. What do
Mhm.
you do to help yourself when you're face to face with fear? Is there anything in particular that you can share?
I think when you value what you do and you enjoy it and you get really good at it, then you've grown this confidence. So fear is almost, well, it's not there very often,
Mm,
you know. Probably I had a lot more fear back in the early days. Oh, is this going to work? Is it not?
yeah. Yeah.
That sort of thing. Now I'm like, well, what's the worst thing that can happen?
Yes. Well, that's very understandable. Experience, and as we
Yeah,
get older, it makes it a lot easier to handle all these things that come our way.
it does.
And final question, any guiding principles or decisions that you've made that helps you play the long game?
Um, I think that it is, as I mentioned earlier, like I really, really, truly love watching and contributing to the growth of the company. And I trust and believe that the challenges and the stumbling blocks, there are opportunities. Again, I said that earlier, but then you pivot. You've got that opportunity to pivot. Okay, what can we change to make it better? What can we do to get through this or over it or around it? So flexibility is key, I feel, as a guiding principle. Mm.
Mm, that's a good one. Yep. Okay, so for those who may want to know a little bit more about you, where can they go?
They could go to my LinkedIn page, which
Yeah,
is simply Barb Dawson.
Bob Dawson. All right. Sounds good. Thank you very much, Bob, for taking time out today to do this interview with me. It's been really nice to get this time with you, learn more about your career journey and, the company you're at. Any final words?
No.
No. All right. This is the Building Influence Show. My name is Rowena Moraes, and I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you in a future one.